I'm back at the appointed time. A follower asked me a question about the gods being disappointed in us, and this person also think that the divine thinks that we need gods here to perhaps steer us in the right direction or teach us how to live and be as a being. But when actuality, we don't need fallen ones to teach us how to live and act and be. Hence, this is the reason why the world was flooded before, because of these fallen ones, these so called gods, these beings that mated with the Holy Spirit's, or didn't really mate with the Holy Spirit's creation, just tampered with it and created their own. But this is the reason why the world is in a sham right now, because a lot of the beings are created and mixed with these fallen ones' DNA, these Nephilim bloodline, because people are hostile, angry, vengeful. This doesn't just come from nowhere. This is a jinn's blood. We don't need dictatorship. We need freedom. Freedom to roam and go wherever we choose, anywhere over this planet. No borders, no nothing. Removal of all negative energy, removal of all jinns, removal of all Nephilim, the energy of these beings, removal of the darkness, removal of the hatred, removal of the violence. This world needs to be in exile. And there needs to come about a new heaven and a new earth. The guidance that we need is not from these fallen ones. The guidance that we need is from the lamp and the light, which is the Lamb and the Holy Spirit, which are one of the same. This is what the world needs. We do not need dictatorship. We do not need someone to teach us how to live. The one thing that you could do is ask for the ability to see and hear. The one thing you can ask for is for the power of discernment. This is how I learn. And forgetting, you said, sometimes you forget, and it's right beneath your feet. It's not beneath your feet, it's within you. What you need is within you. It's not on the outside of you, it's within you. You just have to be willing to make a sacrifice. And I don't mean make a sacrifice as in someone. I mean make a sacrifice in your lifestyle, your choice. Make a sacrifice that you will do this 24/7. Make a sacrifice that you will not rest until you have received what you have been looking for. And even when you receive it, you continue. We do not ask for it and do not continue what we are set out to do. We do not ask for it because we are in need. We ask for it when we're not in need and when we are in need. These beings do not need to teach us how to live. Because the one thing the world is missing is love. And these jinn have about sucked that dry. The well of love is about dried up. There is hardly any more love on this planet. But we do not need other gods. We do not need to make others before the creator of all things, the Holy Spirit. I did this video already, like I said before on the other ones. They X'd out the video, I guess. I don't know if it's because of the music, because of the, but I mean, it was just instrumental and they were saying Yeshua in the very end. And I didn't understand that, but it's whatever. You know, they blocked it for whatever reasons. It's their prerogative. I hope I answered your question. Because to receive what you're looking for, it's not on the outside of you. It's not under your feet. It's within you. Of course, I'm connected to the divine. Yes. So much so that the divine sent me a vision. But before this vision, some months later is when I received this vision. But the Holy Spirit sent an angel to me. It's the angel that stands in the east, 1 foot on earth and the other foot at sea. And afterwards, I received a vision. I had a friend that was in a coma, and I called to him for 7 days. And on that seventh day, he came to me. He came to me in the spirit. I needed confirmation on that day, and he came to me in the spirit. So when I got to work that night, I found out that they let him go and unplugged him. And then I wind up getting a second confirmation on that Sunday from a medium. And she told me that he was there. And he was doing a motion that she was making a motion with his hands. And it's something she wouldn't know. But when she did it, I started crying really bad. Because he had been with me that whole Sunday until that night. Well, he was with me that Saturday morning and all that day Sunday until that evening. And a woman said that she said, I hope that you're on our side. And I said, I'm on the side of light. I'm on the side of good. And she says, I just hope you're on our side. Usually someone say that to you. You're a very powerful being. She tells me that I was chosen. But I was chosen before I even surrendered. So when I left this place, I just kept saying, I am no God, I am no God, I am no God, I am no God, over and over again. And as I kept saying that, I got on the bus and I kept saying it over and over again. All of a sudden, I received a vision of people being pummeled by rocks and stones. By the time I got off the bus, I was in tears. And I called a woman and I said, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to kill people. She says to me, that's just something you're going to have to learn how to accept and deal with. You have to accept that life has to restart itself again. I didn't understand, but I understand now, and I know why she said it. So then, 5 years later, I received the Bible, which I had never read the Bible. I'd never read the Bible. And when I remembered that vision, when I read this for the first time, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the Lamb, and from the wrath of the Lamb. When I read that, I knew that this is what the Holy Spirit sent me. It was the Holy Spirit's memory, but it was sent to me as a vision. There's really only one being that can house the Spirit or the Holy Spirit. And I know many of you will say that you have the Holy Spirit within you. But what you have is a telepathic connection. You have a whisper of a word. But there is only one being that can house the light. This being is known as the lion, but it's also known as the lamb, but it's also known as the lamp, and the Holy Spirit is the light. He speaks about it. I said this in my other video. About the new heaven and new earth. And there's two beings that light up because there's no need for the sun nor the moon. This is the being that you should be worried about teaching you how to live. But this is also the being that came to the earth to know what it feels like to love. Because synthetics, I would just use this as an example. Computer, Android, these things don't have feelings. In order to know what it feels like, its subconscious have to be transferred into a human vessel to actually know what it feels like. And what I'm trying to say is that the Holy Spirit is so vast and so big to actually really learn what human emotions are and what it is. This being has to take a host. It has to take a body in order to do it. And there's only one being that can house that body, house that light. Of course, You get the breath of life, and I get the light. I'm not asking anyone to follow me, but you will. I hope that I answered your question. I know I'm connected with the divine. The story I just read to you, well, the verse I just read to you, all the things I've seen, all the things been shown to me. This has been my appointed time. Learn to love each other like you love yourself. Learn to forgive and let live and let go. For this is your salvation. If these things are not accomplished, you will be left behind. Thank you for listening. Till next time, the one out.